some news with you and just our performance at the end of the first 60 days. So with me, Praveen and Belton, our Chief Commercial Officer and our Chief Marketing Experience Officer. We've got other members of the Akasa family here, so if there are tough questions, we'll call on people from Akasa in the audience here and direct all your tough questions to them. We'll keep the easy ones. Okay, so let me get started. I will talk for about 10 minutes or so, then I'll turn it over to Praveen and Belton, and they'll take you through some more of the details of what you can expect. I wanted to just give you a sense of how the first 60 days of Akasa have gone, because we've been flying for 60 days, almost to the date. Today is the 6th of October, and we launched our first commercial flight on the 7th of August. So approximately 60 days. And I would say that we're very excited. We are happy, we're satisfied with where we are, with our performance to date. We've got, I would say, just by the numbers, we've got approximately 30 flights a day that we're flying today. We've got loads and yields and a level of on-time performance or network dependability that we're satisfied with. We looked at our August numbers for Akasa relative to what was published by the DGCA, and we're not going to provide much more detail on it, but we tell you that we were extremely satisfied with where we sit from a reliability perspective. And we're also satisfied with where we are in terms of loads and yields. So the first few days have been quite satisfying for us, and like I said, exciting, right? We've been working on this for a long time, and it's so nice to be able to see planes actually flying in the air with Akasa tails that are this wonderful and recognizable orange color. We've got 6 aircraft that we're operating, that we have in our possession today. We will be getting, as we've said, an aircraft every 15 days, so we're well on track to be able to fly 18 aircraft by the end of March or the end of this fiscal year. And then from there onwards to be able to fly 72 aircraft in our first full 5 years of operation. So I can tell you that we're on track. We've had all our deliveries that have come in on time, and we're extremely pleased with that. And every indication is that there will be no issues, between now and flying 18 aircraft at the end of this fiscal year. The customer reception has been great so far, not just from a load factor perspective, which Praveen will tell you more about, but it's much more in terms of what they say about the customer experience at Akasa. When we're dreaming up what we want our customers to say, and when we actually hear these words coming out of our customers' mouths, it's extremely gratifying. People, are using the words warm, empathetic, kind, considerate, as far as the Akasa experience is concerned. And those are exactly the kind of service qualities that we, aspire to deliver to our customers. And so it's really gratifying to be able to hear these kinds of words, like I said, warm, empathetic, kind, considerate. And of course, all credit goes to our frontline staff for delivering that kind of customer experience. A number of our frontline staff that we have with us today, so thank you for that. We've also, as I told you, by the numbers, have a dependable operation, a reliable operation, and that is being recognized by our customers as well. So we're extremely pleased with that. There are a couple of other aspects that we have been recognized for, again, that's particularly gratifying. One of them is sustainability. Not just the fact that we fly brand new aircraft with, extremely modern fuel-efficient engines, the most fuel-efficient engines in the world, which automatically put us in a level of sustainability that is above literally any other airline in the world, but more from a thinking perspective, we're being recognized by our customers for our approach to sustainability, the fact that we didn't get a water gun salute, the fact that our uniforms are made with recycled materials, not just the tops, but the shoes as well, and a number of other aspects, the food packaging that we have. And so it's been very gratifying. You know, these are all things that you put on a planning sheet, but when you actually implement them and you get feedback that this is something that is being appreciated by the community at large and our flyers, and it's particularly gratifying. And so the sustainability is one aspect that we're extremely pleased with. The other one that is again extremely satisfying to get some recognition for is the employee centricity that we have. The customer centricity, sure, I talked about the warmth and dependability and the kindness that we are being recognized for, and of course, you know, this is something that we'll have to continue to deliver for decades to come. But it's also gratifying to be recognized for employee centricity. You know, the fact that we have designed gender neutral uniforms, the fact that, you know, our flight attendants wear comfortable shoes, doing a job, you know, that requires a lot of standing and a lot of walking. And so those are areas that we're particularly proud of, because in the first 60 days, we have had a level of employee ownership, a level of employee commitment that I have not seen before. And it's, you know, absolutely fantastic. I wouldn't be here talking about a satisfying, you know, an exciting first 60 days if it wasn't for that level of employee commitment across the board. So it's wonderful. Obviously, I thank all our employees across the board, not just the frontline employees, for having that level of dedication, for having that level of ownership. But it's also nice to have some recognition for being a brand and a company with a soul that cares for its employees. And that's been particularly gratifying as well in the first 60 days. So I'd say overall, with Praveen and Belson, to add a little bit more in terms of numbers and details, not just about the past, but about the future, which is what, you know, you all are here for. But I would say overall, I'd characterize the first 60 days to be certainly at or better than what we had planned. And so I'm extremely pleased and thankful for that. Yeah. So I will pass it on to Belson. Yeah.
Thank you, Vinay. I'll just stand if you don't mind. All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and once again, thank you for coming. So I'll walk you through a few slides, some of the things Vinay touched upon, and hopefully give you, you know, where we started and where we're heading in terms of our brand and service. Sorry about it. This is not working. Okay, it's okay now. It's okay. Thanks. All right, so I'll start from where we set ourselves up and where we started and what is our purpose, what's our vision, what's our promise that we made when we started, as Vinay said, planning about many months ago. And as we've talked about this in the past, the purpose is to transform India's air transportation system and empower Indians to chase their dreams. And the whole objective is to create a very inclusive environment for our customers. And that is what we geared up and started when we started planning, and then went on to build the vision for us to be the most trusted airline. We want to keep it simple, but yet a very powerful vision statement to take us through to be one of the most trusted airline not just in India, but in the world. What's the brand promise? And this is where the experience product comes alive. We want to be India's most dependable and most affordable airline. Of course, we fly one of the youngest and greenest fleets in the Indian sky. And we'll power this brand promise through a warm and efficient customer service, a reliable operation, and affordable fares. And the power of this put together is where dependability as a brand comes in. What are our values? Vinay touched upon a lot of them as he spoke, and I won't get into details of this, but these are the values from collaboration to honesty, empathy, humility, perseverance, respect, positivity, and sustainability. Almost all of this is very much internal and inward for us, but we truly believe that this is the culture and the value that we're creating will come alive when all of us interact with our customers, our partners, especially our frontline staff, who bring these values to deliver the warm, efficient, and reliable service that we set out for. What's a brand personality? By now, you would have seen brand Akasa out there. We want to keep it simple yet smart, being efficient, being warm, happy, reliable, tech-savvy, honest, youthful, empowering, and open-minded. And it's just not extension of the values, but the communication that we do, the communication and engagement that we do with the consumers will bring all of these personality traits alive in various forms and manners. Whether we do engagement through our digital mediums, whether we do through our social engagement that we do, this is what brand Akasa will be, and this is what brand Akasa's personality is. We just did our first campaign 4 weeks ago. We wanted to settle down as business. We want to settle down with our operations. We wanted to make sure that our teams are able to deliver the promise that we had made. And then we said, let's set out and tell the world who we are. Why should consumers or customers or passengers fly Akasa? And that's the story that we want to tell through this campaign, which headlines Spread Your Wings India, It's Your Sky. It's an extension of our commitment to create a very inclusive environment for not just a frequent flyer, but a first-time traveler as well. I'll touch upon a little bit on our product and service. I think the whole proposition for us is to deliver service as a differentiator. And it's purely, we call it the Akasa experience, empathy-driven service culture. We'll repeat this many times here, as well as every time we speak about our signature warm and efficient customer service, reliable operations, and inclusive experience for all. And as Vinay touched upon, this is where we put this on paper many months ago. And when we see actual customer feedback coming through, whether it's through our feedback that we generate or customers just writing to us on their own, a lot of these values, or a lot of these behavioral traits come in their feedback that they give. It's extremely gratifying, as Vinay said, when people say your service was warm, your crew was respectful. We even see people telling us the teamwork that happens, whether it's on ground, whether it's in flight. So all of these coming together to deliver this warm, efficient, and reliable service that we promise and we committed to deliver. At the end of the day for us, it's our team, it's our employees, especially our frontline staff, who deliver this promise. And right from the way our teams have gone about selecting our team members, to training, and just empowering them to deliver the promise that we are making to our consumers. This is the team that delivers and beyond. But it's all about people. It's all about our people when we make a promise to our consumers. Our in-flight experience, of course, we have a brand new aircraft. It gives you a beautiful, happy feel. It's a fresh and brand new aircraft, ample legroom. We've consciously designed and are focused to make sure comfort of our customers is a topmost priority. and we're very happy with the feedback that we're getting about the legroom space, the softer cushions. You will feel very, very comfortable if you get a chance, or if you've flown by now. You will definitely see the difference in the comfort of our seat cushions. And the plane that we fly has a very quiet cabin. And of course, the MAX comes with wood lighting, and it gives a very nice feel and ambience across in the cabin. We're proud to talk about our onboard menu. We call it Cafe Akasa. This has given us a lot of joy as we put together, and as now consumers give us feedback. Not just the selection that we put together, but the whole experience in terms of taste and the different options that we give. It's a wide choice of multi-cuisine and quality meals. We have focused on healthy meal options. I'm sure this is a very important piece of anybody's consideration when you select meals or eat. We have got industry first offerings. We offer pasta, we have Vietnamese rolls, hot chocolate. This is the first in the industry. Many more to come as we keep on refreshing our menu. Every 3 or 4 months we'll refresh this menu. And then we've done something very interesting where we have now festival menu that is on board. So every festival is celebrated through a special menu that we curate. Right now we have the Sera meals that have been served on board. These are of course pre-purchased meals. And at every Indian festival, and festival is all about celebrations and food for us, and that's the spirit of Cafe Akasa. So it's a very exciting menu. Do have a look at it. It's on our website, but when you're flying, try and grab one of these. When I talked about sustainability, we are extremely focused and conscious about doing a bit for the environment. And this is something that's real for us. And this is something that we'll keep on working on as time goes by. We've got some good areas that we managed to do a lot on sustainability, and I'll talk about it a little bit. But it's a process. We will make sure that we continue to focus on sustainability. When I talked about this, we're proud to have not just gender neutral uniforms, but uniforms that are made of recycled PET bottles, a little bit of our contribution to the environment. We're the first airline to introduce sneakers, as it's been doing rounds. We're quite happy, and the soles of the shoes are also made of recycled rubber. Overall, when we were designing this, our topmost priority was comfort for our colleagues or employees who will wear them, and that's how the whole concept of uniforms and sneakers came about. But of course, it was a great opportunity for us to explore the sustainability angle of it, and that's where our uniforms and shoes came about from a sustainable angle. Our packaging on board, Cafe Akasa, is made out of recycled packaging, and that's another small contribution in terms of not using any bleaching or optical agents to make your boxes or design your boxes. So consciously taken that decision. I want to talk about something new that we are going to announce. We will now allow pets on board on Akasa flights. That's again our commitment to create an inclusive travel experience. Passengers can travel with pets in cabin as well as take them on in the cargo compartment. To start with, domesticated dogs and cats will be allowed on all our Akasa flights, and bookings for this service starts 15th of October, and pets can be carried on board effective 1st of November. So this is another very important area for us, very close to our hearts, doing a bit to the animal world, taking care of pets, and our teams are all geared up. We've also tied up with an NGO, Ummid Animals for Foundation, and they're helping us to give us guidance, best practices. So we're just not doing this on our own. We're taking expert advice to make sure that we really take care of pets when they are with us, when they're flying on Akasa. So that's another new initiative starting 15th of October with pets on board starting 1st of November. So that's in a nutshell, some of the things that we've done, some of the areas that I thought was important for us to share, and a new announcement on accepting pets on board. More details shortly on our website, but right now we're happy to announce and share this with you first exclusively, and we will have all our details in terms of the process to book, the policies, do's and don'ts, will be available on our website on the 15th of October when our bookings start. That's about it for me. I will hand over to Praveen to take you through our network, fleet, and our commercial strategy. Thank you.
Thanks, Belson. Good afternoon, all of you. It's always a pleasure to be in Delhi. The weather has been nice today. I think we landed at 25 degrees, which has been unlike over the last few months here. But thanks for giving us a full house. Almost every other chair is filled up here. For us, frankly, it has been from a piece of paper to up in the sky a reality. And what I will quickly walk you through, guys, in just about 5 minutes, is our network plan, the fleet plan rather, and then on the network side where we are and what you can expect in the next 2 to 3 weeks where we launch new flights as well. So we have a firm order on hand, 72 737 Maxes, 19 Max 8, the rest -200s. They're all powered by the highly fuel efficient CFM LEAP-1B engine. You will realize, if you've not taken the flight already, and if you do, you should, you will realize that it's 50% less from a noise creation perspective inside the aircraft. So it's a lot quieter aircraft compared to what you would have witnessed otherwise. So that apart from that, it's more fuel efficient, so it benefits from an airline perspective as well. So clearly that's the order that we have. We had our first aircraft land on the 21st of June. It's been 3.5 months now, and like when I highlighted, 18 by the end of March, 20 by the end of May, and we are well on course to hit the 72 aircraft by the end of the 5th year from the first aircraft that got launched. Network. So effective 21st of October, just to give you a landscape of the network that we're going to have 5 daily each way between Bangalore and Chennai. We will have 4 daily every day between Bangalore and Bombay each way. We will have 3x between Bombay and Ahmedabad all each way. Apart from that, Bangalore-Cochin and Bangalore-Cochin will have 2x on a daily basis, and we will also have Bangalore-Ahmedabad that moves into 2x. The rest of the routes that you see here is 1 daily to begin with, and as we get more aircraft, you will see more and more flights getting ordered. Reason why we thought we should meet you today is because tomorrow is a very big day for us out of Delhi. We launch our first flight out of Delhi. We started on the 7th of August. We launched this on the 7th of October in exactly 2 months. And that's the Delhi-Bangalore launch that we have tomorrow morning, the first departure out of Delhi. And that's how this sketch looks like. That's the departure sketch out of Delhi. We are also proud to highlight the fact that we've already hit close to 300 weekly flights towards the end of the summer sketch as we start the winter sketch. 30 flights as of today, which moves up to 34 starting tomorrow, going up to 36 from the 8th, and 44 daily flights starting the 21st of October. In a matter of 2.5 months, from 0 to 44, has been quite a journey, and we keep saying this, it almost feels like a startup every day, because we've got new flights coming in every fortnight. And that's the Delhi plan that we have. You will see us add new destinations. You will see us add more frequencies into the existing destinations that we have chosen. 11 routes which we talked about, and close to 8 destinations effective the 21st of October. So that's nutshell on the network side and the fleet side. We're now open to questions. Thank you so much.
Can I request that the teams will come to you with the mic so that we can have some order and sequence in the questions? Jagati? It will also be helpful if you can just introduce yourself and the publication you're from.
Hi, I'm Jagrati Chandra from The Hindu. As a dog mom, I'm excited about your policy on pets. So Air India is already doing that. Could you just expand on, say the weight category and the conditions in which a pet would have to be brought on board? Also, will they be allowed to pass through the airport, or is there some other arrangement for that? And why is it that, if you could just compare your policy with some of the existing policies of other airlines. Thanks.
Yeah.
One of the very few airlines that's launched the pet policy within a couple of months of operations. But the terms and conditions and the carriage related conditions are very clear. On board, we allow one pet up to 7 kgs, and that's a regulation. You can't do much about it because we also need to keep in mind the rest of the people on board. But we do have a cargo facility as well, and a check-in facility as well. So the check-in can be 32 kgs along with the size of the cage, and we also accept cargo on board with the pets. But this is phase 1 of our launch. We have kept it simple to begin with, and progressively you will see us enhance these policies around the pet. But we thought it's important that we have a pet policy out there. We talked about this in our social media handle, and we thought this was the right moment for us to announce this in this forum.
Yeah, and to your question on airport, if you're carrying the pet along with you in cabin, you are allowed to take it through security and clear it. And if you're checking in, it's the same process where you come and hand it over, and then the process starts. And as Praveen said, the third option is if you want to send it as cargo, that's a larger weight animals or pets that you can carry as well. So these are the 3 options that you have. But you can carry in the cabin, and you can clear security as well.
And sorry, the only reason we would want people to check in a pet through cargo is just because at a certain size of pet, the airport does not have the infrastructure to be able to take cages that are of a certain size, and so they have to pass through a different protocol to be able to get on the plane.
Like I said, so first of all, today, as the policy gets released, you will see this on the 15th of October, we allow one pet in cabin, and we are looking at options how we can enhance that. That's what I meant. And even in cargo, though having said that, you could have one on board and one checked in. That's a possibility, but it's a first step. And as a first step to launch this on sale effective 15th of October and carry it effective 1st of November, I think it's for us a big step forward, and you will see us constantly evolve.
If I may add, Belson, in terms of resources, I'm sure you have a lot of questions on how we are planning this out. So in terms of resources, we do have an FAQ in place. I'd request you all to reach out to us, to the Rudafin team or to myself, and then we'll give you all the resources that you need to write about this.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, I'm Ashok from ANI here. So you announced just 18 aircraft by end of March, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so that will be all a new MAX or something else?
All our 72 aircraft are all brand new 737 MAXs, MAX-8s to be put. Right. Each one of the 72 aircraft that we have ordered are brand new 737 MAX-8s. 19 of them are MAX-8s, and the rest are MAX-8-200s.
Hi sir, this is Karishma here from Business Today. Congratulations on successful 60 days. You also added Delhi, of course, as one of the starting points. Now Mumbai Delhi is also considered to be one of the busiest routes. Do you plan to add that soon? And my second question is on the cafe menu that you displayed. I think it's a great effort, especially the festive food that you're offering. Just to understand a bit on behind scale when it comes to budget, how do you manage that? What is the kind of checks and balances you have to do? Do you have to shell out more in terms of your budget preparations?
So you talk about network, Delhi question. And then I'll take on.
We constantly, I'll talk about the network piece. So we constantly evaluate routes. We continue to evaluate Bombay Delhi as also one of the potential routes. But what we have announced right there is what's selling and what we have planned. Please watch out for our announcements in the future regarding any new city pair that we will launch. Thank you.
I think just by law, we really can't signal our network. So as Praveen said, we're getting plenty of aircraft, and we will be making announcements on new routes, but we really can't signal what we're looking at, what we're considering, what approvals we have, and what we don't from a network perspective.
And Karishma, was your question on Cafe Akasa related to how competitive we are in terms of pricing? Okay, and thanks for the question. Two or three things that stand out. One is the options and selection that we get on Cafe Akasa is one of the best in the industry. The pricing is very competitive. I don't think there's any reason why a customer would not have a meal on Cafe Akasa. So there's absolutely no outlier in terms of pricing. We're extremely competitive. And behind this, we talked about it's a team that constantly looks and works with some of the best chefs out in India, curating and trying to design various meals. And the festival concept is an outcome of one of that. And I must say, when we announced the Dussehra meals, we had a huge response with consumers pre-ordering meals. And we're seeing it's the highest selling meal right now at this point in time, the Dussehra meal that we offer. So all good. And I must also add that our portions are quite substantial. In fact, they are substantial than most other meals in its class which are available on board on other airlines. So I must say that, and I know some of our friends out here have flown and experienced that. So that's another plus point in terms of the meal portions that you saw.
And Delson, I hear that people today can actually sample some of the meals.
Yes, we've got a small sampling counter out there. I wish we could get all the options out here, but just to get a feel of Cafe Akasa. Wait for the surprise.
Sir, Samir Dixit from 18 now, sir. A couple of questions. The first one is...
Can't hear
Sorry,
you.
we can't hear you.
Audible?
Yeah.
Now audible, sir?
Yeah.
Samir Dixit from 18 now. A couple of questions. The first one is that unfortunate demise of Shri Rakesh Jhunjhunwala ji. Would like to understand that has it led to reshape your policy or strategies? Though you have come up with a statement then, but still on a longer run, is there any reshaping of your policy or your strategy? The second one regarding the modification in the ECLGS scheme. Would you like to comment on the same? The government has modified the emergency credit line guarantee scheme. And my third question is that taking the current situation, the crude oil prices doesn't look to soften in coming time, especially when the oil producing nations, they have predicted to cut the oil production. How far you are confident regarding your affordable prices?
Got it. Your first question on Shri Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, what was the nature of
I
it?
want to understand that after this entire thing, is there any change in policy or your strategy, maybe that you were earlier looking for 3 years or 5 years down the line?
Got it. Okay, so let me take these questions. First, no. Very directly, there's no change in strategy. It's been something that was well discussed, well regarded, well appreciated, and there's no there's no reason to change that that strategy. As we talk about the late and great Mr. Jhunjhunwala, it's for us, we remain eternally grateful to him, and so I'll add that every time we talk about him. We're extremely grateful. But having said that, there's no change in strategy. To your second point in the comment on what was announced earlier, to your second question, look, we're appreciative that our government continues to recognize the importance of the aviation sector. We've always said that having very strong transportation links are essential for the growth and the vibrancy of any economy, and India is the same. I think having very strong transportation links are extremely important for India's growth, not just the growth of the aviation sector. And we're very happy when when the government recognizes the importance of aviation. So we're appreciative. We just hope that the government's support extends to startup airlines as well, because as you know, startup airlines are operating in the same difficult environment, and startup airlines will be competing against carriers that are getting government supported funds. And so we just hope that the government recognizes the importance of the startup ecosystem in creating a vibrant and healthy economy, and that similar kinds of fiscal support is provided to startups as well. That's our hope. And yeah, the affordability of airfares, look, I think we've said it before, fuel will go up, fuel will go down. That's not something we worry about. We look at the affordability of airfares in a much longer term horizon, and our view is that we will have a high degree of focus on our cost structure, and we are not worried about being able to provide affordable airfares. I mean, if you look at the history of aviation over the last 30 years, you will see that air travel is one of the most affordable forms of travel, and we're very confident that this is going to continue in the future.
Hi sir, मैं रोहन हूँ CNBC आवाज़ से। मेरे दो सवाल हैं। पहला सवाल तो ये कि जो हमारे पास लास्ट डेटा है अगस्त का DGCA का, उसमें आपका जो पैसेंजर लोड फैक्टर है वो 53% था। जो सितंबर का डेटा हमारे पास नहीं है, क्या उसमें कुछ इम्प्रूवमेंट हुआ है क्योंकि आपके पास अब ज़्यादा नेटवर्क है, नए रूट्स हैं, तो जो लेटेस्ट पैसेंजर लोड फैक्टर क्या है? और दूसरा सवाल कि गवर्नमेंट का बहुत ज़्यादा फोकस है सस्टेनेबल एविएशन फ्यूल पे। आपने सस्टेनेबिलिटी पे काफ़ी फोकस किया है, आपके यूनिफॉर्म से लेकर मेनू से लेकर पैकेजिंग तक। सस्टेनेबल एविएशन फ्यूल को लेके आगे का रोड मैप क्या है?
मेरा नाम दुबे है, लेकिन मैं हिंदी में इतनी अच्छी तरह नहीं बात कर सकता हूँ. So I will respond in English and you'll have to find a way to translate it. On sustainable aviation fuel, we're clearly interested given the stand that we have taken on sustainability, and we continue to work with the experts in this area to find ways to create sustainable aviation fuel on a much larger scale. And at a price point where it's commercially viable on a much larger scale. Today, we can't put in 30%, 40%, 50% of SAF into our airplanes, and so I'd say it's extremely important. Again, we're pleased with the stand and the approach, not just of the government, but of other private actors as well that are trying to create and develop sustainable aviation fuel, and we're part and parcel of that push. And we'll be ready as and when this becomes more affordable and the volumes increase as well.
Yeah, my last name is Ayer, so you can imagine my Hindi, but I'll try. So पहली चीज़ तो ये है कि पहले महीने में आप अगर हिस्ट्री देखें एयरलाइन इंडस्ट्री की, पहले महीने में हमेशा एयरलाइंस 50% या उससे लोअर ही रही हैं. सो जैसे हमने कहा आपसे इससे पहले, 53% इज नो मीन अचीवमेंट, एंड वी आर वेरी हैप्पी विद व्हाट वी हैव अचीव्ड इन द मंथ ऑफ ऑगस्ट. there are certain milestones which I didn't talk about. So पहले 7 या 8 हफ्ते के अंदर ही हमने करीब 1 लाख पैसेंजर्स फ्लाई कर चुके हैं ऑलरेडी, और ये मेरे हिसाब से और हमारे हिसाब से एक बहुत बड़ी अचीवमेंट है एज अ न्यू एयरलाइन इन इंडस्ट्री, एज अ न्यू एयरलाइन in this time zone which is lean season especially. और दूसरी चीज़, in the month of September you will start seeing the results being published very soon. We have definitely gone still better than what we were in August. We are closer to the 80% load factor. So clearly happy with the way things are progressing, and we need to also understand one thing, that the lead time that we get to publish our skets is a lot shorter than some of the incumbents. So given all those parameters in mind, yes, August has been a slow start, as always with a new entrant. September has been good, and the forwards look even better as we move along. Thank you.
Hi. Hello. Hi, this is Manoj Ramon from PTI. I have few related questions. One is, what are the capitalization plans? Even though you recently mentioned you are very well capitalized, one. And any plans to rope in new investors or new funding avenues are you looking for? And thirdly, in your response to the question on ECLGS, you mentioned about that it would be good if government can also look at the startup ecosystem. So are you also looking for some kind of support, especially for Akasa?
So on the capitalization, the answer is we are well capitalized, as I have said previously. We currently have no plans to raise any funds, and therefore there are no plans to be able to attract new investors. As far as Akasa and government support is concerned, I would say that we'd be more than happy to get any kind of government support, but we'd be also supportive of government support in a more general sense for the startup ecosystem in aviation.
Will you be able to elaborate a bit? Any kind of support, like anything specific?
Well, at this point I don't know what's on the table, so I can't elaborate. I just think that recognizing that startups are extremely important for the health and vibrancy of any industry, certainly the aviation ecosystem, I think is important, and therefore extending support to the startup ecosystem is just as important as extending support to the incumbents. So I'm making a general statement, but I don't have anything more specific that I can add to that.
So if I may add one more question, you have already replied to that. After the passing of Ms. Jhunjhunwala, you have mentioned there is no change in strategy. But what has been the kind of moral impact, if I may ask, like in terms of, not in terms of plan, in terms of moral support? His presence is more of a strong tailwind for the airline.
Look, I think in terms of moral and emotional support, it's a deep, deep loss for those of us that got to know him. Of course, it's an even deeper loss for his, immediate family, close family, and relatives. That's clearly, a big loss from a human perspective.
Thanks. Hi, this is Navneet from Kochi Travel.
There you go. Sorry.
You have a plan to fly international skies as you intended. Is there something, you have a plan in place? When do you intend to do that going forward? Is there a schedule that you have in mind, time frame?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So we all know it takes us 20 aircraft to really get to international. We do that in May. We have time and again highlighted 3-4 months back that we will fly international in 18 months. So second half of next year or later half of next year is when we will fly international. Which routes, which destinations, I think it all comes down to where the bilaterals are and what flights we can capitalize on. So I would say we want to focus on these 20 aircraft to be deployed in domestic as step one, and then focus on the international expansion plans.
One more question regarding your pricing strategy. You kept the fares very low, especially after the cap was removed. Going forward, is that going to be the strategy? Where do you see yourself, model yourself in terms of market? I mean, it's low cost, but you haven't clearly specified, you know.
See, every route requires maturity, right? If you look at the time lag between us versus the incumbents, it's almost 365 days of selling versus 30 days of selling. So you will always find us relatively cheaper to competition, and that's because you don't have enough lead time. But as you mature as an enterprise, as you mature as an airline, you will see that the pricing is more competitive. But clearly, given the time frame that you have to sell your flights, you will see us competitive.
Hi, this is Jatin from Financial Express. I just wanted to understand, picking up from the point of fares and affordability. Like you mentioned, you continue to be affordable, but the history of airlines, and we've been seeing, and there's a report from ICRA which says airlines are staring at losses of around 15,000 to 17,000 odd crores at the end of this fiscal. So, how do you see yourself in a profitability kind of situation, and any guidance on profitability going forward?
No guidance on profitability that we can provide today, but clearly we wouldn't have started this airline if we thought we weren't able to create something that is sustainable and durable over decades. We've created Akasa not for 1 or 2 or 5 years, we've created Akasa for your grandchildren to be able to fly on it. So we expect to be around, we expect to be a strong, healthy company, and we expect simultaneously to provide probably the most affordable mode of mass and long-range transportation. And I think all of those can coexist.
And without compromising on the experience.
So
Hello.
we're at 12:30
Yeah.
now. Sorry,
Hello.
we're at 12:30 now. We'll take 2 more questions if everyone's okay with that.
हेलो सर,
Yes.
मैं सर बंसीलाल प्रिंट मीडिया पनवाइस से। मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ, पिछले 2 महीने पहले एक रिपोर्ट आई थी मेडिकल फिटनेस को लेकर, जितने पायलट हैं उनको फिटनेस के लेके एक रिपोर्ट आई थी कि बहुत,
आप जरा धीरे बोलिए क्योंकि मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है।
2 महीने पहले फिटनेस रिपोर्ट मांगी गई थी जितने पायलट हैं उनसे, उनमें बहुत से फिटनेस रिपोर्ट सक्सेसफुल नहीं रही थी। तो क्या आप किस तरीके से पायलट जितने भी हैं उनको फिटनेस के बारे में क्या उनका आपका डायग्राम है, किस तरीके से आप उनको देखते हैं कि वो फिटनेस उनकी सही रहे, क्योंकि लॉन्ग टर्म पे उनको फ्लाइट चलानी पड़ती है, सब शॉर्ट टर्म में या फ्लाइट चलानी पड़ती है, तो फिटनेस पर बड़ा सवाल उठता है उनसे।
Fitness, pilot fitness. So to be honest, there is no compromise when it comes to a pilot's health, fitness, skill, experience, training. These are, highly regulated. They are highly, prescriptive. And at Akasa, there is no compromise. So I'm not sure I understand the nature of your question, but there's no compromise as far as the health and fitness of a pilot or any other employee of ours, or any other qualification that's required, and over and above that, that's required to be able to provide safe transportation. So I'm maybe not understanding the nature of your question, but the answer is there's no compromises there as far as Akasa is concerned.
Hi, Devendra Kroger from Travel Span. 2 questions. What has been your biggest challenge operating HCR Sky Akasa? And 2, human resource plays a very important role in terms of any airline. How do you, recruit your staff, and how do you motivate to get it better?
Got it. So I wish I could. I wish I could answer because I do like answering questions. I don't like evading questions. I wish I could give you the what is the one challenge. But honestly, if you ask me what's my favorite movie, I don't have one. If you ask me what's my favorite food, I don't have one. I don't have a favorite color. I don't have a favorite son out of my three sons. my view is I like many movies, I like many kinds of foods, and in a similar manner, when you run an airline, you face and have to overcome many hurdles. And so there's no one single hurdle that stands out. We on a daily basis are extremely passionate about the employee culture. We're equally passionate about the customer experience. We want to make sure it's warm, reliable, dependable, and to be able to run an on-time, airline requires a lot of focus. So in this manner, there's literally sort of every aspect of the airline that we're focused on. There's no one or the other aspect of the airline that has either proven to be a larger challenge than we expected or requires any more focus than any others. You have to, in an airline, have every operational, customer service, employee aspect and many others all be synchronized and perform well for the airline to be able to deliver on its promise. So I'm sorry, I'm not evading your question, but there really isn't one aspect that is proving to be any more challenging than the other. In terms of motivating our employees, I think it just starts from a promise or a stand that we have taken to be employee-centric. So there's nothing there's not a single day that goes by where we don't talk about employee centricity, and it's small things. If you were to come to our headquarters, none of the cabins that we have for our senior team, including Belson, myself, and Praveen, have a window. We've kept all of the windows for anybody that doesn't have a cabin because we think it's your sky, and we think the sky and the window and the natural light should belong to everyone, not just the senior leadership team. So, this is just one small aspect of how we focus on. I told you it was very important for us to have shoes that our flight attendants could be comfortable with. And by the way, the soles of those shoes are also made from recycled rubber. And so it's a series of these kinds of decisions that we make. But from an employee perspective and keeping them motivated, the first thing is just a pledge that we have made that we're going to have an employee-centric company, and it's not satisfying for us to come to work every day if we don't.
That will be the last question, if that's all right.
Hello, sir. My name is Yaruk. I work for Money Control. So last month you had suffered a data breach, which was very unfortunate for you. I just wanted to check what has been the progress on the same, and what have you done on your end to improve your security systems so that such incidents don't happen again?
Yeah, sure. Yes, we did have a small data breach. It was a setting and a login section for our consumers on our website. Just few fields like email, phone, title, and the name was visible to somebody who would get to access it in not just in a manner that they could go to a particular route to find that out. And the moment we got to know, we did multiple things. One is we instantly switched off the service. We instantly communicated and informed the affected customers. That is one of our core principle of being honest and transparent. And then in almost real time, we reported it to certain as a part of the regulatory requirement that we did. And then we run a very robust vulnerability testing and security checks that we do. We got an opportunity to enhance that, and it's an always on process because technology can always, has to scale up, security levels have to scale up. So we plugged it instantly, and we believe that we have the most tightest control right now, but we have a mechanism to watch and track our various security areas of our systems on a day-to-day basis. So we will continue to invest and enhance security. It's very, very important for us, especially customer privacy.
Just to follow up on that, what has been the, you obviously mentioned that you got in touch with the government agency for the same. What has been the response from them till now? Because it's been a month since the incident.
So your question is response from?
From the government agency, what are the actions that they have taken till now?
No, so they had, as a part of a process, there are certain information we need to share. We also need to give them the confidence and demonstrate the action that we have taken. And so they were pleased with the way we reacted and responded instantly.
And what has been the feel, like the customers whose data was leaked and you reached out to them, have they, turned back and come back on your airline, or do they have a negative experience of it?
Yeah, so first of all, there was no excess or breach of any confidential data, whether it's booking data or payments, nothing else. It's just these 4 fields that I talked about. Whoever wrote back to us told us that they were happy that we were transparent and reached out to tell them what the issue was. We haven't had any major comeback on anything beyond that.
Okay, we far exceeded my last question, so with your permission, can I close the press conference? We'll request our colleagues from the in-flight team to come and take a picture here.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much for being here. And as you step out, you'll be able to see the Cafe Akasa desert table. Give us your feedback on how you like that.
Okay. Just give me a few seconds.
Sure. I'll just come.
मुझे ना ये लेवल वहाँ पहुँचा के आना है. I'll just. हुआ है